Okay, Frank Bernardo here for LowKick MMA. With me once again is Murdo Todd, and we're going to be breaking down UFC 280, Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. What a fight! What a card! How's it going, Murdo? What do you think of this pay-per-view card we've got coming up?
I've been looking forward to this for so long. It feels like it should have been like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
I don't know. It feels like we've had like a long break from the UFC, but really excited. I'm excited. It's like a watchable time for us here in the UK. Just it's stacked top to bottom. When does it start for us? It starts at like 2 o'clock in the
2 o'clock
afternoon.
UK time, I think. Yeah, beautiful.
Could you ask? Could you ask for any more?
Well,
Really?
you could ask for it not to be a pay-per-view.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, let's get straight into it because there's so many
Yep.
fights to talk about. No point wasting time. Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, what a fight that is. Yeah, brilliant. Cream of the crop in the lightweight division. Charles Oliveira's sort of career resurgence or evolution, I suppose, has been nothing short of remarkable. He's torn through the division, become one of the most exciting fighters in the whole UFC, let alone the lightweight division. His jiu-jitsu is next level. His striking, he's turned into like one of the most potent finishers on the feet in the UFC as well now, with Gaethje saying he's never been hit as hard as he was hit by Charles Oliveira. Gaethje's been in there with some of the best. So it's an incredible fight. Islam Makhachev, obviously, he's got that link with Khabib. People saying he's continuing his legacy. And he's an excellent fighter as well with that sambo wrestling and I think the big thing with Islam is like different to Khabib is people are saying he's the better striker than Khabib Nurmagomedov. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in this fight against such a potent finisher that Charles Oliveira is. What's your read on this one, mate?
I've got Charles. There's no doubting Islam's talent and the performances he's had in the UFC. But for me, there's a couple things that make me take Charles, especially in the betting sense. Is Charles is one, he's proven himself more. Do you know what I mean? Like, although Islam has looked good, and we can say that he could beat these top guys, he's not been in there, so we don't have any. So for me, it's like Charles has the track record. He's coming in, just impressive performance after impressive performance. Whereas Islam is kind of a bit of time off here, then fighting Bobby Green and stuff like this. And also for Charles has so many ways to end the fight. There's so many weapons. Islam has one, really. It's a very good weapon and it works most of the time, but Charles has more. There's more weapons here. So and I'm not going to doubt Charles anymore because I've done it. I kept doing it and I'm not doing it again. I think it'll be fun. I think it could be really exciting. I don't see it going the distance at all. But I've got faith in Charles. I've been seeing him in this build up. He seems well up for it. He just seems totally. It's just like his evolution, like you were speaking about, is just like it's crazy to think about. He's such a different fighter. Seems a different, even a different person than he was. Yeah, I'm so excited for this one, and I think people they like to say, oh, well, if you look at the past performances, he's quitting this one, he's done this and that one. And people like to bring the Felder fight up because of how it ended. And it's understandable, but I think what people have to also understand is that he's a completely different fighter than he was then. So I think it's like you can't read too much into the past performances because we've just seen what he's done over the past 3-4 fights. So I've not ever seen anything like it. What's your takeaway on this?
Yeah, I think when you say that Charles Oliveira has multiple avenues to victory, whereas Islam Makhachev only has the one, I think that's exactly spot on. That's exactly how the dynamic of this fight is going to be. I mean, let's be honest though, Makhachev has a great chance of winning, and that's why he comes into this fight as a favorite. But I'm never going to go against Charles Oliveira. I've been backing him. I tell you what, though, people have been saying, "Oh no, he's not going to beat Justin Gaethje. He's not going to beat Michael Chandler. He's not going to beat Tony Ferguson, etc., etc." Every single one of those fights, I've backed Charles Oliveira. I've got the receipts. I can go back. Yeah, I've been backing him since like Tamer and Jared Gordon, all those fights. I don't know why. There's just something about him that I sort of gravitated to, and it's been an absolute pleasure to watch him evolve into the fighter that he is now.
Yeah.
In terms of bets, I got on Charles Oliveira very early. Money line plus 180. Absolutely love that. Yeah, looking at the line now, was it plus 140? You want to get him inside the distance, plus 162. Nah, money line plus 180. That's what we want.
How do you if Islam wins? How do you see him winning?
I think he's going to use his grappling stifle Oliveira's offense, because the thing is because of the defensive or offensive potency of Oliveira being off his back, people don't like to take the fight to the ground with him. But I think Makhachev won't have that fear. I think he will go for it. And if Oliveira isn't able to get back to his feet, or because he uses submissions as a threat to force a transition that he's able to scramble out of or sweep or whatnot. So if Oliveira isn't able to get that sort of side of his game going, and he starts to find himself neutralized, there is that old narrative of Oliveira getting broken. I don't think it'll be as clear set as that, but if suddenly this guy who's able to finish anyone and everyone can't do anything against this devastating top pressure grappler, maybe Makhachev can. Well, I mean, not maybe, he definitely can do this. It's just whether Oliveira sort of allows him to. But he can start getting that ground and pound going, trapping him in between transitions. I think could be a big thing for Makhachev. Yeah, maybe even grabbing. Charles got a very long neck, so there's a chance he could grab him in some sort of headlock in the transitions, or just knock him out with ground and pound. It's a definite possibility. I'm partly backing Oliveira because I'm such a big fan of him. I'm not. I personally, it's more of a 50-50 fight, to be honest, and it just happens that Oliveira is the underdog, as he always seems to be these days. So yeah, I'll back Oliveira.
You know how you were saying about the submission threat. Charles uses that as a bit of a, like we saw in the Gaethje fight. He was able to he just lay there, took a bit of a break, almost like he was taking a 10 count. I think it'll be the opposite for this one. I think Makhachev will want to stay away from the feet. I think he's going to want to get this on the ground, and I think if Charles catches him, I think we'll see Makhachev shoot quite quickly in this one. But yeah, there's no way this fight goes the distance. By the way, there's no way.
Well,
there's no way. I did say that at the Rock Cold Costa fight, but that was
just. This is £5.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. Maybe if Makhachev simply neutralizes and his main focus is stopping Oliveira doing anything, it might just trickle out. I hope not, especially with all the crowd support Makhachev's going to have and stuff. Like, surely he just goes for it, but you never know. I think if it goes to decision, it's not going to be Oliveira winning. It might be Makhachev just neutralizing everything. Doing a Bilal Muhammad, who we'll speak about shortly.
Oh god.
I did also take Charles Oliveira round 1 plus 500 because he's been going on all fight week saying, "Oh, I'm going to finish this fight in the first round." It's not going out the first round. I'll take a little stab at plus 500. Charles Oliveira.
I like that.
He's
that'd be good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me either. It wouldn't shock me.
Of course not. No, it's Oliveira.
I think it wouldn't shock me. I like that. The further the fight goes, I think it plays into Makhachev's hands quickly. Should be a good one. Should be very, very excited for it. I've been looking forward to this fight for a long time.
100%. So looks like let's move on to the co-main. Aljamain Sterling, the bantamweight champion. Murdo's not a huge fan. He's taking on TJ Dillashaw, the former champ, the disgraced former champ, I suppose you could call him. Obviously was stripped for PEDs, came back, fought Corey Sandhagen. Sandhagen won that fight, let's be honest. And now he's taking on the champ who is also coming off a very close, I wouldn't say controversial, because you can see why the judges would give Sterling the nod over TJ Dillashaw, but it was very close. I mean, it's a split decision. I believe Sterling is the minus 170 favorite coming to this fight. Dillashaw plus 140. Tell me why I shouldn't bet Aljamain Sterling, Meadow.
Well, I honestly, and I'm not doing this because I know Aljamain Sterling gets a lot of hate, and I'm going to say that it's not obviously he's very good. Like he's a great fighter. His skills are undeniable, but I think TJ is actually a bad matchup for him. I think Sterling on the feet. I don't think he likes being on the feet. I just don't. It's a bit. I don't know. I just don't. He's not. TJ outstrikes him all day.
Sterling's almost like a gimmick fighter, isn't it? It's like you're playing like a UFC 4 game or something, and you're just throwing out your special moves, like the spinning back fist and a.
It doesn't make sense. There's no kind of there's not a whole lot of fluidity to it. It doesn't really. He's not going to use it into his chain wrestling, and that's why he's got such a low takedown percentages.
Yeah, horrendous.
Really yeah. And I think the thing is, TJ, he is a fantastic defensive wrestler and offensive wrestler. He just seems to spring back up every single time. The issue is the age, but I think his gas tank. I think he kept on well in the Sandhagen fight. He was there all 5 rounds. That is an issue, but I don't. Aljamain Sterling's main way of winning is taking the back. I think he'll struggle to do that against TJ. And if it's on the feet, I don't see how Aljamain Sterling can keep. I don't think he's going to gain the respect of TJ. I think he's going to walk right forward. Aljamain Sterling doesn't hit particularly hard. And I think TJ can get inside of him. I'm not. I don't. I could see a late knockout, maybe a decision, but I've sided with TJ in this one. I think I genuinely think it's not any. I think people will be betting TJ for the wrong reason, but I'm I'm not going to say confident in it, but what's your take on it?
Throw a couple of stats out at you. First of all, I haven't actually got the numbers right now, but I checked earlier. Piotr Yan has a noticeably higher takedown defense percentage than TJ Dillashaw. Was still taken down, I think, twice by Sterling. Spent extensive periods of the fight on the ground. And then, that Sterling is an elite back taker. That part of his game is he's one of the best in the world at it, especially in the sport. It
was 2 out of how many attempts was it? Sorry,
doesn't matter. He won the fight.
I believe it was 22. Another 2 on top of that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's the thing with someone like Sterling. Like, it doesn't matter. He won.
But I know I get where you're going.
You see what I mean? Second of all, people are saying like, oh, it doesn't seem like age is affecting TJ Dillashaw. And his cardio looks great. He looks an incredible nick, whether that's due to banned substances or not. I mean, well, we won't go into that. But look, he is nearly 37 years old. And tape studying his last couple of fights, his last 4 fights, right? Both fights with Garbrandt, he's rocked early. Gets knocked out by Henry Cejudo in 1 round. And against Corey Sandhagen, he's dropped with a big left hand in round 2, hit by a flying knee. Round 1, rocked it both times. He might not be getting knocked out in every fight, but his chin is deteriorating. Definitely deteriorating.
Do you think Sterling is remotely close to any of these fighters in terms of striking?
I mean,
no. He can't. He doesn't punch hard though. Do you know what I mean? It's like I just think TJ, he's going to come forward because he likes to be at range. Sterling likes to throw kicks. TJ's going to get in his face, and I don't see how he's going to fend him off, to be honest. It's not like I don't think Sterling can't win. I mean, he's got a really big chance of winning. But I also think I was surprised when the odds came out, because I think Dillashaw was an even bigger underdog when it first came out, and I was pretty surprised that I thought it would be a lot closer. But yeah, it will be a really interesting fight. I think it's like I have no idea how it's going to play out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I think for me the values with TJ, especially like the way I'm reading it, but I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong about Sterling's fight before.
I say everyone was on
So,
Piotr Yan, weren't they? The last fight.
yeah, but I mean the first one was pretty like the
Yeah,
first Purian fight was pretty like
decisive.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it should be a good one though.
Definitely. I feel like
Have you
I
got
just
any
can't.
like round props like overs, unders?
Nothing on it.
Nah. Lit.
Yeah, I can't pull the trigger on Dillashaw. I just can't. There's too many variables. He's too old.
No, I like I do get that, but I just
You've already
I
got
also
it.
think like I think that like the payoff of if TJ Dillashaw wins, right? I'm not a massive fan, but that means Aljamain Sterling loses, and I get money from that. So that payoff, that's the gamble itself. That's what I'm really looking for on Saturday.
I'm gonna clip that little segment from the other from an episode we did a few weeks ago when you were going on about people taking PEDs and all that, and I'm gonna put it in right. No, you know what? I'm gonna wait till the fight's over and just gonna tag you in on Twitter, send it out there. um, fair enough. Let's move on to the Coco main. Piotr Yan, Sean O'Malley. It's a fun fight, isn't it? This is a great non-title fight to put on a pay-per-view card. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I also think Piotr Yan is going to run through Sean O'Malley like a buzzsaw. I think he's going to murder the man. Sean O'Malley has not fought anyone close to the level of Piotr Yan. Closest being Marlon Vera. I know it's a bit of a freak accident, but let's be honest, Vera still knocked him out on the ground. He was out cold. He looked awful against Pedro Munoz. He keeps going on about, oh yeah, anyone who knows anything about MMA won the first round. Knows he won the first round. Who gives a shit who won the first round? First of all, I had Munoz winning it, but also O'Malley looked awful. Like it was dreadful. And Munoz is definitely not nearly as good a striker as Piotr Yan. I'm very, very confident Piotr Yan is going to win this fight. Yan is a decent favorite, minus 275 right now. I believe that has got. I think it's actually closing. It's closing. It was minus.
It was
over
300. Minus 400. I knew because O'Malley is such a big name. I knew that would slide.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it slide as much as this, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what it's one of those where I might just like take him straight. I've got 2 bets on this fight already, but I might just stick 2 units on Piotr Yan at minus 270. Maybe if I'll see if the line gets closer. If it gets like minus 250, 2 units on that because I'm so confident he's going to win this fight.
I don't see any way that I'm a fan of Sean O'Malley. I like watching him fight, but for me, there's a couple things, right? It's like O'Malley has not seemed to progress. Like we keep seeing the same kind of performances, but I'm not seeing anything new. I'm not seeing like, oh, did you see? Like it's all kind of roughly the same stuff. You see the same kind of patterns, same kind of movements. I just think, I think Yan will beat him up. I think he'll take him down. I think it'll be like the end of the Aldo fight. I can see that kind of him just. Yan. I think I rate Yan. I love he's one of my favorite fighters. I think he just annihilate. I can't believe they made this fight. I actually can't believe they made this fight because he's gonna annihilate him. I was so confident in Pierre the whole time. Yeah. But it's an intriguing fight.
100%.
It should be good to watch. Because Peter Yan, he's not in boring fights, and Sean O'Malley, to his credit, is not really in boring fights either. I think it'll be a good one.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, O'Malley's going out there saying that he just wants a 3-round kickboxing match, so Which makes me think even more so that.
Though.
Tell you what, he wants that more than Jan taking the fight to the floor and just smashing his head into the canvas repeatedly, just like Oliveira did.
Yeah, because I think the thing is, it's like even with the striking, I think Jan's a better striker than him.
And he's got the range, isn't it? That's the big thing that O'Malley has in this one. He has a range advantage, and he is a good range striker.
But so's Corey Sandhagen. But we see what happened there. Yeah. And Corey Sandhagen's a better striker than O'Malley in my opinion. And Jan dropped him, and it's just like, I'm really excited for it.
That was 5 rounds. I think Corey would have won that fight if it had been 3 against Jan.
This is the thing. The 5 rounds definitely favor. The 3 rounds definitely favor Sean O'Malley. Peter Yan does like to start slow, but in this one, I think he might just come out
murder the man.
He seems. Yeah, I think he's just going to come out at him. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to try and take his time as much. O'Malley can punch hard, but I don't really see. Yeah, I've never really seen Yan. Got dropped by Dobson, didn't he, in their fight?
Yeah, stung by him, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Dodson does hit fucking hard.
Yeah.
Prime Dodson.
But I just, I know, I think we both got the same inside the distance.
Was it plus
240 just now?
Yeah, plus 240, yeah.
And then I've got him in another parlay.
As do I.
With someone else in the card later in the card. But,
I wonder if it's the same person.
I think it might. I think we're both in agreement. I'm just so confident in this one. There's not much we can really say. I think Jan shuts him down. To be honest.
And we it seems like a broken record now to keep saying that. Sean O'Malley's legs are very brittle and stuff, but they are. He gets all his bones are brittle. He gets multiple fractures after every single fight. It's insane. Like he broke both hands and a foot against Chris Moutinho, and that's Chris Moutinho. He wasn't even able to properly finish. Chris Moutinho
did was walk forward. You know what I mean? Man.
What I find mad about that one as well is he had basically nearly 3 rounds of throwing whatever he wanted at Chris Moutinho, and he wasn't able to properly stop the guy. It was referees, stepping in the end. The next fight, Guido Canetti, 40-year-old Guido Canetti comes out and just blasts Chris Moutinho out in 1 round. Maybe, because the thing is, look at the guys that O'Malley has been finishing, right? Eddie Wineland, he's now retired after getting knocked out by Cody Stamen, who never finishes anyone. Obviously, Chris Moutinho couldn't actually properly finish him, just beat the hell out of him. Thomas Almeida, jaw turned to glass after years of training with that crazy Brazilian group. I guess Paiva is a decent KO finish. I'll give him that much. But, I don't think he is this devastating knockout artist that his record suggests. I think he's a good striker, a good finisher. But, yeah, I definitely don't think he's going to be able to knock out Piotr Yan. He's going on record saying, even if I don't finish him, I'm going to knock Yan out multiple times. And I'm just like, nah, that's not happening. You're breaking. I think for the first time, aside from that Vera fight, because the Vera fight, he has that whole mental thing where he's like, oh, no, it was my leg that gave way, not me. For the first time in a fight, O'Malley is going to get broken mentally. He's going to realize there's nothing more he can do against this little Russian killer. He's going to break mentally, and then he's going to break physically, and the fight's going to be over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else I can really add to it. I just think,
all right, yeah. So both on Yan inside the distance, both parlayed Yan's money line, and like I said, if the line continues to close, if Yan gets to minus 250, I think I'm just going to take him straight. Just a heavy 2-unit bet on him, I think. Next up, we have another lightweight fight. Super interesting and hard fight to call. Beneil Dariush, Mateus Gamrot, top 10 lightweights. Dariush was scheduled to fight Islam Makhachev at the start of the year. Had to pull out due to injury. Gamrot's been on an absolute tear since signing for the UFC. most recently defeating Arman Sayukian. Close fight. I bet on Gamrot that fight, so I'm happy he came out on top.
That's Hurricane. So.
Yeah. And then also his only loss on his entire record, I believe, was that split decision to Guram Kutladze, which I'm pretty confident in saying that he probably should have won that fight. So both guys have fought elite opposition. Both guys are on impressive win streaks. Gamrot comes into this fight a favorite, which I didn't really expect. I thought they would give it to the more the UFC veteran, but Gamrot minus 188 right now. Dariush as a plus 162 favorite. I believe you have a side, Murdo.
Yeah, I would. The thing is, I think this is a proper 50-50 fight. Like I think it is and the odds don't the odds don't reflect that. So the value is with Beneil Dariush in this one.
Yeah.
He is more proven at the top. He's been in there. Great wrestler. It's so hard to pick in this one. It's a really, really tight fight. But I'd have to side with Dariush in this one, just for the value alone. What about you?
Yeah, I don't have a side. This is exactly what happened with that Gamrot fight with Sayukin. Like I said, like it was so close. It was two elite lightweights. That was a 5-round fight, and I was like, I don't see a massive skill disparity between them, so I bet the underdog in that one. But that was kind of because it was a 5-round fight. There's more, I think recently we'd also seen the Emmett and Cater fight where it's so close over 5 rounds, the judges could give it either way. You just hit the underdog. Like there's nothing really that puts one man ahead of the other. Both exceptional wrestlers. I know Dariush is going out there saying that he's planning to submit Gamrot to fight his floor. I mean, Gamrot's really, really elite. Like maybe some guys, maybe like the US audiences don't know him as well, but before the UFC, he was on the KSW circuit, just doing absolute, just damage to anyone that he fought him. He is a monster.
Was he double champ at KSW?
Possibly, I'm not sure. I'd have to go out and check that, but yeah, he at least held lightweight gold. And yeah, Dariush is a weird one because he has started just coming out and knocking people out lately, which just I don't know, it seems out of character for him, doesn't it? That spinning back fist over Scott Holtzman was insane, and then the like crazy flurry with Drakkar Close as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna bet Dariush. I don't think this is one of the ones on the card that it's so close. I don't think I can pick a side, and I don't think I'm going to take Dariush. I'm not going to bet it at all. I don't think, but it's so close. I just feel like Gamrot, he's on the rise right now. This is his time. It's a hard one, man. I don't know. Dariush, 33 now, slightly older. I'm just trying to look at stats, anything to give me like one reason to pick the other side. Yeah, I think it's just too close to call. I think Gamrot will win, but I don't think I'm going to touch it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with it. It's so close. It should be a very interesting, like the kind of the Sayukin one, more of a kind of like a technically very good fight to watch. Do you know what I mean?
Great fight there, the Sayukin one.
Yeah, great fight. Great fight. And shout out to Beneil for taking the fight, because he's always just taking difficult fights against people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like he just has such a bad luck of run all the time. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's move on to the last fight of the main card. This is a fight that I was talking to Murdo in the week, waiting for the props to drop. It's Katlyn Chookagian taking on Manon Fiorot. Manon Fiorot is sort of this surging prospect from France, 9-1 record, undefeated in the UFC, knockout power as well, which is quite rare in the women's flyweight division. Taking on Katlyn Chookagian, I guess can you call it a gatekeeper when you're literally gatekeeping the title? Like she's at the very top of the division permanently. And unless you're an absolute monster like someone like Jessica Andrade or Shevchenko herself, you're not going to beat her. She's going to outpoint you. She's going to KR herself to a decision victory or a split decision victory. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen here. Fiorot is a decent sized favorite, but I I feel like I don't rate her as much as like a lot of other people do. Like her big sort of like KO finishes. One was over Tabitha Ricci, who was fighting upper division. Victoria Leonardo. I mean, um, and then decision wins over Myra Bueno Silva and Jennifer Meyer. Both, well, Meyer at least has already been beaten by Shevchenko. Sorry, Shevchenko Chookagian. Yeah, I don't think Fiorot's ready for someone as skilled and with that veteran savvy that Caitlin Chookagian has. So I am backing Caitlin Chookagian to win via decision, which I got at plus 260, which I absolutely love that bet. What's your read on this one, mate?
Well, you've been so enthusiastic about it. I've had to put Chookagian by decision as well. I just thought I'd ride out with you. Do you know what I mean? So you've convinced me. I don't think it's a bad bet either. To be honest, she's not going to win by knockout. She's got a very good chance of winning. I think it's probably a bit closer than the odds. I mean, Feroz a minus 200. I really think that's reflective, to be honest. But yeah, that's a good bet. Plus 260. I like that. I like those numbers. So
Yeah,
hopefully.
I mean, I'm looking down her record now. Right, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you want to know how many of Caitlin Chookagian's last 11 wins came via decision?
It's got to be like 10.
No, it's 11. Obviously, it's 11. She is an absolute decision machine, and she's beating good people by decision. Amanda Hubas, Jennifer Meyer, Viviane Arujo, Calvillo, Antonina Shevchenko, even Jojo Calderwood, Alexis Davis. Unless you're really, really fucking good, um, you're not going to beat Caitlin Chookagian. And I don't think Manon Fiorot is that good yet. I think maybe she has the potential to become something special. But she's only got 10 fights on her record. And hasn't fought that high level of opposition. So yeah, I think Chookagian is going to outpoint her. So that's the main card covered. Feature prelim of the night. Belal, remember the name, Mohammed, Sean Brady, welterweight clash. I believe you have strong convictions to one side or the other on this one.
Yeah. A bit of advice for any, if you are looking to take a break, you want to go to the shop during the evening, maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to get some more beers and food. This fight is the fight to do it, in my opinion. Both guys don't really like finishing. Both heavily reliant on the grappling. Not anything special on the feet. But I would have to side with the favorite, Sean Brady. I think he's a better grappler than Belal, and I think Belal's past few wins against Stephen Thompson and Luke, those are very stylistically good matchups for him.
Yeah.
I don't think Brady is. Brady's younger. He's coming up. He's had a year off. A lot of time to improve since the Chiesa fight. I expect him to come out strong. Take Belal down. I think he can control him there. On the feet, I think is where I would worry about Brady. He's not the best, but then I don't think Belal's knocking him out anytime soon. I would side with Brady. Not massively confident on it. I can definitely see a way of Belal winning it, but I also like Sean Brady by decision, which I think I'll be taking at 1+162. I think that's probably the best bet on this if you're going to take it, or fight goes to decision or over 2.5, because these guys again, they really don't like to finish fights. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I've kind of been on the fence. This is probably the fight I've taped the most, and I've got no action on it. I'm just so.
Screw you! Oh my god.
Yeah, it is interesting though. Like, my main thing is, can Sean Brady out wrestle Bilal Muhammad? Basically, can he take him down and can he maintain sort of top control? Because that's what he did to Michael Chiesa. That's how he won that fight. But he did start to gas towards the end of it, and Chiesa started to come into his own. And then I started thinking, like, okay, can can Brady take Bilal down? That's the first thing. For obviously the first sequence that would lead to that sort of victory for him. And I don't think Brady's actual takedowns are anything overtly special. Looking at the Chiesa fight, especially, a lot of his takedowns came from catching kicks and the sort, and switching it down, taking the fight to the ground. Bilal does love that rear body kick. Absolutely loves it. His neither, like you said, yeah, both men. I guess they're fine at striking. They're fine, aren't they? But
Passable.
Passable. Yeah.
They want to grapple. That's what they want. That's what they want to do.
Exactly.
I mean? They're not using their strike. They're using it to get into grappling positions.
Yeah. I think Brady can take Bilal down, but then I feel like Bilal's he doesn't really have the frame of like a scrambly grappler, but he does have that in him. His last loss to I think it was Jeff Neal by decision. I think that was his last loss. He was getting knocked down, knocked to the floor. And then, despite the fact that he's like, fuzzy in the head, whatnot, he's scrambling to his feet, getting back up, and yeah, he seems to recover really quickly as well.
Yeah.
He's durable. He's got cardio. I want to take Sean Brady, I want to, but it's just like, I don't know. It's a close one. They have similar skill sets. I guess Sean Brady is I don't really want to say the more potent finisher, because potency seems like a bad word for a fighter with Brady's skill set, but he does finish people. He got finishes over Jake Matthews and Christian Aguilera. Go on.
I see it kind of the first two. I know you were saying about the cardio, but how I see it playing out is Sean Brady comes out strong, takes the first two. If he fades off in the third and Bilal takes the third, is how I could see this playing out. I don't I know the cardio, but I don't really. I think cardio is an issue when you're facing a guy who's likely to finish you, and I don't think Brady will be worried about that.
Yeah, he will be using a lot of energy to be able to hold Bilal down. Though that's how the fight with Chiesa went.
Yeah.
But the good thing about someone like Bilal, if it does go like you say, if it goes like the Chiesa fight and Brady wins the first 2 rounds and then starts to gas, you don't have to worry about Bilal Muhammad finishing you, because has a man ever won a KO finish? I don't even know if
probably not.
Yeah, I can't be asked to check right now, but yeah, I you know what? I think I might take Brady by decision. I think I might bite the bullet and take Brady by decision. I told myself I'd stay away from this fight, but yeah, I think that's the side. And it's good to see like an undefeated prospect rising the ranks at welterweight, put him in the mix with Shavkat and Hamzat and all the rest right there. But
they would murder him. They would kill him.
Do you reckon?
Oh my god. Yeah, I like Sean Brady. I think he's good, but right now, keep him. If the UFC want him to be good, keep him away from Shavkat Rakhmonov. I swear to God, man, he's dangerous.
He's fighting Jeff Neal now, isn't he? Yeah, as well. Good fight that. I think he'll murder Jeff Neal though. Yeah, poor Jeff. Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff seems like a nice guy too.
Yeah.
But R.I.P.
Yeah, let's move on then. So for the rest of the prelims, it's a bit sort of this and that. Makhmud Muradov versus Caio Borralho. Do you have a side?
I've got Borralho. I think some of these names. I'm Borralho. I'm going to stick with that. I've got him in the parlay with Peter Yan. I've actually went pretty heavy on that. I rate him, and I've been really impressed with him. I think he's a really good prospect, good future, really good grappler. And Muradov just lost to Gerald Meerschaert, so need I say more? You know, so I think it's going to be one of those things. I think like when Andre Muniz fought Uriah Hall, just kind of sit on his back for a bit. I think once he's got his control, I think he'll be there for a while. I've been impressed with Borralho, and I see him doing well, and I see him winning this pretty comfortably, to be honest. So I'm pretty confident. This is him and Yan. When I looked at the card, this is the one one of the ones I was kind of most confident in.
And Mokaev. I agree. I think Caio Borralho is will win. Muradov kind of looked like he could be something special. And then, like you said, the Gerald Meerschaert fight, he gassed out completely, and was submitted by. Meerschaert's a good submission fighter, but the fight was playing out on the feet, and Meerschaert, he's got maybe 3 decent techniques, and that's what led him to piecing Muradov off, and then just finishing him. Borralho's a very good grappler. I think he's been training at All Stars with with that team, Till and Khamzat and Gustafsson, Latifi, all that group. So I think I do have him. We spoke off camera. I lied. I do have a bet on that Petrosian fight as well. Fight doesn't go the distance. Parlayed with Caio Borralho to win. Comes out at even money.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think. I'm pretty confident in Borralho, to be honest. How old is Borralho? He's quite young, isn't he?
29.
He needs to get that tattoo gone, though. That's mad.
He's a free spirit, man.
He's lucky he's hard. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean?
That's probably the only reason he got it in the first place.
Yeah, probably. He's like, what are you going to say, really?
Conversation piece. Yeah. Light heavyweight bout up next. Volkan Oezdemir versus Nikita Krylov. I'll take the lead. I've got a side. I took Volkan Oezdemir money line. Plus 140, I believe it was, around that line. I don't really rate Krylov that much. He got submitted by Paul Craig with just the worst IQ ever. Oh, that's why you're against Oezdemir, because he beat Paul Craig.
We fade anyone that beats any Scottish fighter. That's how my bets go.
Well, I mean, this is a pretty mad one. We're going off on a tangent now. It was an article by yourself that I'm pretty sure had a definite impact on the signing of Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. In an interview with Mike Owens of LowKick MMA, Johnny Walker calls out Paul Craig. Murdo writes up an exclusive on it. Paul Craig immediate response, literally within 3 minutes of me posting it up onto our socials. Paul Craig is there chirping. 3 days later, the fight is booked. Bam. I
know, it was mad, wasn't it? It's just Mike Owens. Mike Owens doing bits. Well.
Yeah, he's doing well, Mike Owens. That was crazy. That post absolutely blew up. Notifications popping off for days. But I mean, Nikita Krylov, he's just a weird fighter. He's got a karate background with some sort of, I don't know what style wrestling it is, but he has it. I just don't think he has fight IQ. I don't know. I just don't really rate him. And I think Volkan Oezdemir is a good fighter. Got knocked out by Yuri Prochazka, but I mean, there's no shame in that. And lost to Magomed Ankalaev. I mean, those are both pretty respectable losses. Obviously, he beat Mr. Paul Craig last time. But that's a perfect example of good IQ and bad fight IQ. Looking at Krylov and Oezdemir's fights with Paul Craig. Krylov lunges into Paul Craig's guard, insta triangle sub. Oezdemir stayed out of it. And when he did eventually go into Paul Craig's guard, he played it safe. He just landed some ground and pound, and won a very convincing 3-round fight. Like it was just an easy win. So yeah, I think Oezdemir can go out there. He's still got heavy hands. He's got good takedown defense. I think he can piece Krylov up in this one and get a convincing win. So, or are you fading?
I got Krylov. I am fading Oezdemir, obviously, but I just think in the Paul Craig fight, I just didn't think he looked very good. I think on the feet, Paul Craig is not the best striker. I'll be honest. He was hitting him, and I just didn't think he looked. I just didn't think he looked very good. To be honest, Krylov, on the other hand, just beat the shit out of Alexander Gustafsson. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like, if you're going to judge them off their last performances, one looked really good, one just didn't. And I was really unimpressed with Oezdemir, to be honest. I just think he was rubbish on the feet, to be honest.
I hear you, but the thing is, I feel like you have to adapt the way you fight to Paul Craig. It's a weird sort of scenario to be in, fighting that guy, just because of the way he acts inside the ring. And I think it can make people look a bit bad. But he still won every round. That's the thing. He won every single round. He just had to fight a bit weird. And the thing is, let's be honest, Oezdemir would murder Alexander Gustafsson as well, wouldn't he? Don't even get out of it. Get off the podcast. Nah, he would.
Know.
He would. Well, we might know.
But I was impressed with Krylov though, and Krylov was doing much more damage to Paul Craig on the feet than Oezdemir was. I know he got caught, but he was like, I thought Craig was out at least like 3 or 4 times.
I think he was.
That was mental. I mean, but yeah. I've gone with. This will be a competitive fight though.
Yeah,
I think it'll be really good. I think it's like the first thing we've gone opposite in each other from their card.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of on the Sterling side, but not on it properly. But yeah, it's a close one. It's one of those that, like, I don't think either man is stylistically bad for the other. And I don't think either man has noticeably more skills than the other man. So I think I just take the underdog. Izmir's fought high level competition. He beat Paul Craig. And I don't know. Maybe it's a stupid bet, but I like Oezdemir in this one.
I don't mind him.
Zubaira Takugov versus Lucas Almeida. Any action on that one? Any thoughts? I don't really have a read.
I was thinking of taking Zubaira and Nurmagomedov in a parlay. I think that's at 140. They're going to get favorable matchups in this card. Zubaira a bit more well-rounded than Almeida. I've not watched a huge amount of Gatsby, to be honest. Nurmagomedov, I think, is like, it's always difficult having that name and then being the worst one. You know what I mean? But he's do you know what I mean? He's obviously got that pedigree, but
he's okay.
Nothing. Yeah, it's not that he's bad or anything, but I just think he's like, out of the Nurmagomedovs, he is definitely the worst one. I think, out of the main ones. Yeah,
Saeed, but Saeed's not even related to them. But he fights more like, he's got like a stand-up style, isn't he? I definitely wouldn't go near the Nurmagomedov one just because
I have no clue on it. Honestly, I just don't have a big read on it, to be honest.
The Gadziev guy was last finished by Kaya Borralho. I haven't taped these at all. I think maybe Zubaira is not a bad shout, but I don't think I'm going to go near the Abubakar Nurmagomedov fight. Petrosian versus AJ Dobson. That is the fight that I have in a parlay with Kaya Borralho. Fight doesn't go the distance. They're both just strikers, even though their last couple of fights have gone to decision. Dobson just comes out and just throws. Last fight, it did go to decision against Jacob Malkoun, but Jacob Malkoun is a wrestler who specializes in, just pinning people to the ground and grinding out decision wins. And he's making a career of it, to be fair to him. I don't know, weirdly quite like Jacob Malkoun. And Petrosian is just a devastating kickboxer who, when given the fight, last fight he was out wrestled by Caio Borralho once again. When given the fight, he will just throw. So I think these guys are just going to just meet in the middle, and it's just going to be pure violence, and one man's going to get knocked out.
Yeah, Dobson doesn't worry about it. I think he's got a lot. He's got quite a few first round finishes on his record.
Yeah.
This fight doesn't go to decision is a very good one on this one.
Yeah. That one parlayed with Borralho. I think it came over to just over even money, like plus 110 or something like that. We've got to go over Makhachev versus Malcolm Gordon. Mokaev is a little firecracker, a monster, and he since signing for the UFC, 2 wins, 2 very different wins, but both very convincing, really. Knocked out Cody Durden with a sort of flying knee into a modified guillotine submission, and then just dominated Charles Johnson for 3 rounds with just constant suplexes and throws and whatnot. A little bit less inspiring that fight, but like it showed that he can pull out those sort of performances when needed, which is a great thing to have in your back pocket. Going up against Malcolm Gordon, Gordon's he's
decent.
like
he's decent. He's decent, isn't he?
He's a round and a half fighter. Like I think I think 10 of his last 11 have ended under 1.5 rounds. That's mad.
Makhachev will be doing the finishing in this one, though. I just think he's so good, and the thing is, he is getting better every time we see Makhachev. He's gonna be better than he was last time. So it's it's a no-brainer. I've got him parlayed with Krylov. And I'll probably maybe chuck on another one because I just don't.
I mean, the line is getting so wide.
Maybe not now. Maybe not now.
Yeah.
Minus 1,200. It started at minus
1,200.
Yeah, which was a big price, but it is fairly slid.
So I got. Let me look. I got Mokaev early on in a parlay with Jan. Mokaev minus 700, Jan minus 270. That was early on, and that comes. That's just not even money. It's slightly minus 120 or something. And then I also took Mokaev inside the distance. I just put 2 units on him to win, minus 225. I just think he's gonna fucking do what he wants.
Yeah,
Malcolm Gordon. I might even put like a Mokaev round 1. Maybe, I don't know yet.
Well, it's not even that. I was looking earlier. It's plus 130 round 1. Is it really?
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah. But I don't think you have anything on the last fight. But all in all, really, really good card, top to bottom. Yeah. I've got 6 bets so far. I'll just go over them quickly. I've just put Chookagian by decision. Dillashaw money line. I've got a parlay with under 4.5 in the main event. Krylov and Makhachev. I've got Charles Oliveira money line. The Yan Borralho parlay. I've got Peter Yan inside the distance. I also have a few other ones. I didn't touch on this when we were talking about Yan. He's got, I think, it's plus 1,100 round 3. TKO. Yeah. He has a lot of round 3. Most of his stoppages come in round 3. I see him breaking Sean. Makhachev inside the distance is a decent parlay piece as well. Maybe minus 225. Krylov on Oezdemir under 2.5. I think is maybe pretty solid. Sean Brady by decision. I'm not taking that yet. Borralho inside the distance. I see that happening. I think that's plus 160 as well. So yeah, there's a couple ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
What about yourself? What you got for us?
Yeah, I'll run over mine. So I got Oliveira early on, his money line, plus 180. Absolutely love that. That brings me a lot of happiness, that line. Also, Oliveira in round 1, plus 500. Why not? Little sprinkle on that. Piotr Yan, Mohamed Mokaev parlayed, comes in at minus 120. That was early on as well. Piotr Yan inside the distance, half a unit on that. That's at plus 240. Caitlin Chookagian by decision because she's going to do it. Plus 260. Absolutely love that line. Mokaev to win inside the distance. It's minus 225, bit juiced, but 2 units on that because Gordon's just gets taken down. He gets knocked out all the time. Yeah. Volkan Oezdemir on his money line at plus 140. And then a parlay with Kaya Borralho and Arm Petrosian versus Asia Dobson to not go the distance. I think I will also take Sean Brady by decision. I think that'll probably be my last bet. Maybe I'll put together a parlay as well. But
it's always difficult staying away on these big cards, though.
Yeah, it is.
There's too much action to be had.
That's it. Well, on the last card, me and Ross did the Grasso and Araujo card. I think I put down like 4 bets. I said them on the thing. I went on holiday. I came back on the night of the fight. Came back and all 4 of them cashed. And I was just like, oh, nothing. It's just got like a bit of extra for the bankroll now.
I didn't take anything on that card.
No. Just the only reason I did was because of the show. And that's the thing. This show nowadays is making me bet more than I used to before. But yeah, a good card. A decent bit of action from us both. It seems like you might even have more than me for once. But
I think I'll probably end up about maybe 11 or 12 bets.
Okay, yeah.
By the end of the night.
Yeah, you have like a couple more than me then. Cracking card. Can't wait to watch it. Tune into LowKick MMA because we're going to have loads and loads of coverage over it. We've already got plenty of interviews. Got an interview with Aljamain Sterling on the site right now.
Frank said I wasn't allowed to do that one.
Yeah. I mean, that was the one that dropped on the same day as Justin Gaethje, which was absolutely mental. Been a crazy week for the YouTube, couple of weeks for the YouTube channel. We've had some big names go out there since. But yeah, definitely tune in, subscribe, and go follow myself and Murdo on all the socials. I think it's just our names, Frank Bonada and Murdo Todd. And tune in next week when we have UFC Fight Night, Cater versus Allen. Old Allen going to get a big dub for the UK once again.
Interesting.
Thanks for watching.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.